Hello, incredible greetings. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings, incredible greetings. Let's check the status of my live video to see if it's set up the correct way. Do we have to? Okay, perfect. It is. Alrighty. Uh-oh. Let's turn this down. All right. It's been a while. Hello, everyone. I was a little under the weather last week. I was trying to prevent it, but the damage was done because as soon as somebody, i.e., that man that I am married to, even was sick, he was always like up under me. And at that point, it was too late. I ended up sick as well. So then I spent the past 2 days trying to play catch up on work, design stuff. Like I had to do some custom. Why does that color look weird on here? Some custom like passport activity books. So I had to finish that one up. I had a couple designs to do for some schools. I had a party set that I had to do. So I had to play catch up on some work. So I now need to clean up because I now need to produce these. Once I had to order new paper too. Once the other paper comes, and it's a hot mess.com in here right now. So I have to clean up. So I figured, let's kind of have like a little chit chatty chat. It's been a minute and it's hump day. Happy hump day. So let's get it. Hold on. And let's see. Okay, so that's done. That's done. All righty. Hi, Myrna. I am feeling much, much better. Incredible greetings. Hello, Aquisha, Esther. How art thou? Welcome, welcome, welcome in. Thank you guys for hopping on. So I'm going to get into just a quick little intro because I'm going to get right into this. I'm going to get to cleaning and just kind of chit-chatting, being here with you guys, checking the comments and things like that so that I can interact with you guys. Okay. So I am, dang it, that cough. So I am Shakia Lavelle, also known as Shakia the Professor. Our company is HS Inc 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products, which we carry Summation Paper, Summation Ink, Pigment Ink. And then we also have 365 Creative Academy, which is my online academy where I teach you a plethora of things to help unlock your creativity. And then we have Silaholics Anonymous, which there are classes, of course, when it Graceless Silhouette in 365 Creative Academy. But Silaholics Anonymous is how I got started in this online space, in the capacity in which I do it, because I started teaching people how to utilize Silhouette Studio and the Cameo machines. I started with just the original Cameo. I now have the first 4 generations. I don't have the 5th generation of machines yet. At some point I will, but it's not like I feel like I need to run out and get it. Like it's like all these I would have it literally just for teaching purposes is the only reason why like I really want it, because I don't need it. I just want it more so for teaching purposes. People ask questions. And just because I do have like getting the 5 would just be just to complete the set, because there's no like major like, oh my God, a new one is out, let me go and get it. Like there's no major changes to it that the other ones don't do. I love my 2. If I could do anything, I would buy more Cameo 2s. But that is how I got started in this online space, and you guys being able to see, I guess you guys have seen quite a few rooms in my home. And I'm just coming to teach you guys like using it as a designing software, whether it's for business, it's for personal. I've made a lot of things for my kids for birthday parties and being able to DIM it. That's my version of, because I'm like, he was like, okay, I'm going to DIY it. Like, that's what I tell you, do it yourself. So my term is I DIM it. I do it myself. So I have tons of things I've done for my kids' birthdays and parties and events and things like that, I just kind of do it myself, DIM it. And I've shared that. And then on the professional, side of it, if you're wanting to turn whatever you do creatively into a thriving side hustle or a sustainable business, I'm here for that as well. I pretty much on my platform, like answering questions and just kind of engaging with people. And with the pandemic and like people really, really wanting to get into the business side of it and being able to monetize these skills, I think my content did change a little bit. And now there's like all of these other platforms that have come out and people are constantly asking about it. I remember, before where people were always asking about Affinity because it was a way to have that professional grade, at least that's what they said. But to me, that platform is not without the monthly commitment of like Adobe or Corel Draw. Then now there's like the Canva craze. So trying to keep up with it all, it's always a lot. So I know my content has like fluctuated. It's going in and out. And the more I kind of expose myself and the things I do, it sometimes brings up more questions. Because some people who know me, like, and they've been introduced to me or someone recommended our summation paper, that's like, for a lot of people, that's like all they knew was like, oh, let's talk to summation, like the summation girl. Even the group that I was in before, a lot of people knew me from helping and answering questions for summation. But summation is actually the last thing. Like, it's not like it's at the bottom of the totem pole. If I'm being honest, like I love paper crafting. To know me is to know that I love anything styrofoam and foam and things of that nature. So like making cutouts and things like that. So I love me some styrofoam, love me some cardstock, love like paper. I love paper crafting in general. Very, very time consuming, but I like that part more than anything. And then of course, I do like adhesive vinyl first for me, then HTV, DTF, and all of those are like on the lower end of the spectrum for me. Like I'm just not really into. I mean, I'm into it, but it's not the thing that I'm like super, super excited about. So I've helped, in a lot of different areas, but this is where it kind of all started, and me just kind of coming on sharing. And the more I share, the more people realize like how many like different things that I have, how many things I've done, how much stuff I've done. I was just telling someone that it's time for me to kind of roll out a lot of my old videos because obviously I was before my time. Like a lot of this stuff isn't new to me. So someone presented, like they asked me about the passports. Now this is one that I did back in 2012. Let me see. Yeah, it was 2012. Yeah, 2012. Can y'all see that? And I've been doing activity books with like games and things like that for baby showers for the longest. I used to be a hostess, but then for those who don't really want to do like a lot of active games, I made like a lot of paper games. I used to make up all different types of like games and stuff. And so now there is it Portia Nicole Creations, I think it is, where she kind of put them all in one that they end up going, oh, my nails look horrible on camera, like quite viral and stuff. And then someone saw that who comes to me for their design stuff, and they wanted a custom passport activity, that like a keepsake thing for their trip. So I end up working on things like that. But I've done these things like years and years and years ago, and now it's like, oh wow, they come full circle. So I have like some older videos I've gone through, and I've been like editing it down to like re-upload them and stuff like that. So working on that. That's what I was doing a lot while I couldn't be on camera, but I was still working. I think I took like 2 days off. But trying to download these videos and get them edited. I've been purposely using Canva to edit them for a class and a series that I have coming up about using Canva for that. So I've like purposely been using Canva. Some things it takes a little bit longer to do in Canva compared to like my other video editing software, but it can be done if like that's just like your starting point for editing videos and things of that nature. So yeah, that's that. I got to get to it because this room ain't gonna clean itself. It is a hot mess, hotmess.com right now. So yeah, I'm going to get into it. Hopefully this isn't a video of you guys just watching me, and you can actually hear my voice, and I'm giving some sound help and advice along the way because you guys are going to come with the questions. And the inquiries into different things. All right. But I got to get started. Hey, Miss Vanessa, how art thou? Incredible greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grace, how are you? Welcome, welcome in. All right. I don't even know where to even start. Like, no, it is bad in here. Bad. Like, I'm literally with back to school and all of that. Like, I am working on 30,000 different things at one time because I'm trying to also prep for classes and videos for back to school and what I'm going to do for that. I got a phone call last week and it kind of set some things in motion in my brain, in my heart, with the Honestly Speaking brand. And I'm still going to kind of go forth with somewhat changing the website, but I'm going to lean a little bit into promoting the brand. But again, those who are on the email list will end up getting like the discount codes and things of that nature. So trying to work that out too. So hi, Pat. Hi, Chrissy. I'm seeing you guys over here because it doesn't come up on the main feed. So I have to keep my phone open so that I can see y'all comment as well. Actually, let me plug y'all up as well. And then turn the volume off on this and bring the comments back up. So who has our first question for the day? How are you guys been? It's been a little minute since I've been live. A whole week. Literally a whole week. For this project was like one of those days where I had to bring out a lot of the tools and things that I don't normally bring out, like my corner punch, my scoreboard. Yeah, had to bring out the big guns for this particular project. Boys yelling like he got no sense. Hey, Valerie. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome in. He is in there crashing out. That's what he in there doing. Sounds like he keeps crashing. You in there crashing out, sir. He's like, get out of my way, dude. All right, still waiting on that first question. These sessions that y'all love to watch so much, and he's like, I just like to watch whatever you teach. They don't come with anything if y'all don't ask any questions. Because when I pick topics, I think I'm hitting, and then y'all are like radio silent. So obviously the stuff that I talk about randomly is not what y'all want to hear because y'all don't engage with that. So I want to make sure that it's something that's going to be helpful for you because everybody is at different levels in their entrepreneurship journey, in their creative journey. It's levels to this. and everyone is at different levels. Hi, Marilyn. Hey, that's our Quisha, saw Valerie. Yeah. What was in this? Oh, this is from Impressions. Uh-oh, what happened?
What time is it?
Not time for you to get no popsicle, no none of that foolishness. Your brother didn't give you cereal? Okay, well, give me a second. Well, dang. There's some more bug in there. Morning, I saw a Cameo 4 Pro for sale. Was that the one? Yes, I don't recommend the 4 Pro. Christina, incredible greetings from Brooklyn, New York. You can ask questions about anything that you want. If it is something that I have knowledge on, I will do my best to answer the question for you. And so I'm on multiple platforms. So you guys over here may not see the questions that they're asking in the comments over here. So she just said, can I ask a question about Epson primer updates? So I'm guessing it's supposed to be Epson printer updates. Now, y'all know I love a good printer talk. So you got to be careful with the stuff that you ask me about printers, because I'll go off on a tangent. Y'all know I love talking about printers. I get lost talking about printers. Oh, the dogs. Because I already know my teenager's not going to get up. Let me go let my dogs in. It's starting to rain. Hold on. Speaking of cereal, what goes first, milk or cereal? Um, I need another brain dump session. Well, we have creative business tonight, so try and come on early for the open forum. But we're going to get into some of the Canva designing stuff because we went over the Etsy, so it'll be the bridge between talking about setting up your Etsy and setting up a Shopify. The difference is in creating like the thumbnails. So tonight we're going over some Canva things. And yeah, we'll go from there. So make sure you're on time, or book a one-on-one session for the brain dump. Let's see. I have 100 machines and crafts. How did you niche down to what? How do you niche? How did you niche down to what you sell? Favorite summation, eco solvent. Oh, good question. Hold on. There is an update for my Epson printers. Okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When it comes to updates, guys, they're not ever improving anything when it comes to them. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Disable notifications. You're going to get notifications like all the time about updates. The only time is like if it's like a like, you know how they had like Windows 10, like Windows 11, like there's different ones, I think, like for that, the drivers. But if it's just a firmware update, always remember, when in doubt, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. If nothing is going wrong with your printer, ignore the updates. Okay. All right. So, I don't necessarily feel like I am niche down to anything. However, I make very smart choices on what I do for business and the things that I actually market and promote as far as like monetizing like different things. And I have done this and I've been able to do this over time. So over time, you start to realize what's gravitating people to you. What is it that you're doing the most? What is it that you don't mind doing? I have been at this for 26 years. So I can't say that I'm only doing like one particular thing or another because I've learned to do so many things over the years. Do I promote everything that I do for sale? Absolutely not. Some things are very, very time consuming. And a lot of the times your audience doesn't respect the time or understand that they have to pay for your time to do that because it becomes a convenience for them. So things that are extremely time consuming where the value cannot be seen in that, I simply don't do it. Like that's just how I operate. With business and being, when you're in a program like my creative business, the one thing that you'll understand is what business is really about. Business is like to really make money, buy low, sell high. What is the thing that you can do where you can buy it in bulk? If you are doing anything and you're buying it one by one by one by one, or a little bit here, a little bit there, you're never looking to get anything wholesale, you're not in a position where you can buy things in bulk, then that's not business, because you're always going to be chasing for certain things. Like you don't have a solid resource a lot of, and sometimes even your wholesale ones, they can discontinue things. But just being able to buy things like in bulk when it makes sense, like that is what makes sense in business. Buy low, sell high. You're normally not going to really get things low if you're buying them ones and twosies, a little bit here, a little bit there. When it came to like our summation shirts, we don't do it now because I'm not that heavy into doing them. I quickly realized I don't like summation shirts. I like a lot of the other things with summation. I don't like summation shirts. Now, it was a time where, because of the ink and paper and trying to promote that and doing certain things for it, I purchased shirts by the cases. We no longer really do that like that as much because I really don't like doing shirts. I'm not the person that's like, some people's like, oh, but that's what people want. Like, why aren't you doing all the shirts? Because there's a certain percentage of people that like the all over shirts. And then there's some that don't. I look at myself, and then some people tell you, oh, but you're not your customer. You can't look at you. Got to be able to make money. But there are also people that are like me. I am not one of one in my thinking. And there are people that are like me that don't need an all over shirt, that doesn't want shirts with people's pictures and faces on it when it comes to like memorials. Or I don't, like I've designed shirts and stuff when it comes to cheer competitions. And there are some people, they want to support, they go all out, they want the shirts with their cheerleaders and stuff on it so they can be in the stands. I'm not that person. Give me a regular old park shirt. I'll have like maybe a fan, but to go and spend $40, $50 on a shirt, like for one competition day where most of them, they only worry about like FYFL competition where I'm from. I don't see the point in that. And I know there's people that's like me. It's like, okay, can I get me just a simple shirt? Like I'm still showing support. Do you have something else that I can use to show support? So I know that not everybody's into that. So it's not like a necessity. Like I'm not caught up in a lot of the things that I see in groups. You may draw inspiration. Okay, that's cute. That's this. Figuring out how it can fit into your creative life. But I don't get consumed by all this stuff because there's 1,000,001 different people doing 1,000,001 different things. And you will just get caught up. And this is what keeps you where, because you're like, you're not giving what you're doing or you started enough time to grow. It's like wanting it to be instant success. You want it to be some people want it to be microwavable and not slow cooked. So when it doesn't, like the one thing that you got into and it doesn't work, okay, you see somebody else or see a group of people and they're doing these things. Okay, well, maybe that's the missing piece of this puzzle. This is why I'm not getting orders. This is why I'm not as successful in this. And then you run to that thing, but the same stuff keeps happening. Like it's still just not giving you the return that you thought it was going to give you. Because you're not doing it because it's something that you want to do. You have a desire to do. A lot of times it's what you saw everybody else doing. I can honestly say I've not been caught up in that. I got started at a time like well before business where I was able to just learn these things. I just wanted to be creative. I wanted to do creative things. I did not get into this with the thought that it would become a business or having to even think about niching down. I was spending my own money. You can't put that on your taxes. So turning into a business helps because it supports my creative habit. But now Uncle Sam gives me deductions for my creative habit because I am reselling it to other people. So time, like just time, not thinking of everything as a business is what helps me realize what I want to do and what I don't want to do. I don't like the smell of epoxy. I suffer from migraines. It gives me the worst migraines ever. I think they are beautiful to look at. Also, the process. I've done some things that take some time, but some things are just way too many steps and I ain't got time for it. Like what it takes to have a really good epoxy cup, I don't have time for that. Like I just don't. Especially the ones with all the different colors you have to. And I love me some good spray paint. Baby, spray paint, foam, glue, they are top in my arsenal. But to spray paint this cup and different colors, then you got to go back in and you have to glue and you got to put the glitter. And it's just not something that is for me. I follow some people that do some amazing things with like lasers and stuff like that. Not something that I care to really have right now as far as it's kind of cool, but do I feel like I need a laser machine? Do I want to go and make, door signs and things like that? Absolutely not. So it's trying out things without the pressure of it's a part of your niche. It's a part of your business. And going very, very small with it and just figuring out what is it that you want to do? What can you promote? What can you actually put marketing effort and marketing dollars behind? What's that thing or things that you want people to come to you for? When you're doing all these things, does it make you go crazy? If you had an order for almost everything that you have, so you had an order that included some sublimation stuff, some paper crafting stuff, some t-shirts, What does that look like to try and do all of those things and it's just you? As a company, if you had multiple employees and things like that, you had a big space, you don't necessarily have to niche down, because people will bring up the example of, well, look at Walmart, they have all this and all that. It's not one person working in Walmart. Walmart doesn't have to develop all those things. These are a bunch of different companies. Walmart is just a housing location for all of these different brands and these different things. Walmart themselves, the company, they're not producing and making all these things. So I absolutely hate when people use that as an example. And it's like, oh, you shouldn't have to be on one thing. Look at places like this. They are a department store. They are a general store. There's more than one person to keep that train going. But when it's just you, what's gonna help you keep your sanity? Because doing all of these different things, you will go crazy. I don't do a lot of the custom things that you guys do now, like when it comes to like trying to figure out sublimation or party favors and eco solvent and this, that, and the third. Like, I'm not as active and like going after clientele for that. They come to me based off the work that I put out years ago. I don't have to do a whole lot of marketing for that. And I can kind of stay fairly busy with orders. My thing right now was the teaching part of it. And I realized that going into teaching, I could not do both at this really, really high level. So I made a decision to cut back on all of the customized things so that I can focus on teaching others and getting them to, the level that I was as far as my skills in designing or the techniques that I've learned over the years. You can't do both, right? So if I take it to teaching, right? It's a lot trying to figure out all these different things. I'm always pulled in different directions where people would love for me to do dedicated classes on. They want me to be their one-stop shop. They want me to teach them AI. They want me to teach them every single website that there is. They want me to teach them about business or pricing. They want me to teach them about party favors and sublimation and phone boarding. And that is hard, which is why a lot of times I go back to the designing. Because if you can figure out how to properly set up your designs, how to properly create them, all the other stuff, you just need to know the how. And it becomes a little bit like easier, but I know that I can't do all the things. So like my main thing is always leading with designing. And with leading with designing, it's like, okay, what all can you do with designing? And that helps me like branch off to like the other stuff. When it comes to my machines, everything has a purpose. I'm always trying to teach not the how, but the why for things like that. What is the why in it? That's what's going to help you niche down. For me, for Eco Solvent, I didn't get Eco Solvent to do shirts. Some people, they hear Eco Solvent and they like, still even with the DTF stuff, they go to the Eco Solvent like printouts, like cutouts. I have no problem with using Jet Pro 3G for that. Eco Solvent for me was adhesive vinyl, being able to do printables, being able to do the decals for cars, for cups, for yard signs, for the cutouts. Vinyl is different than like the printable one. It's like, it's a different look, the way the ink is. So when I was doing these before on a smaller printer and I had to cut this up into 8-10 sections, I'm able to do it as one. So for me, Eco Solvent wasn't necessarily a niche. It was the next thing, like it was the elevation of what I was already doing. So I have different things that I add into my arsenal, but I've worked the other things until I couldn't work them anymore. So many people kind of see the new shiny thing and they just want to jump into it. So I guess another part of that is working it until there is a need for something else. Hopefully that makes sense. What would be a good 24-inch printer and why? Thanks. Looking for one. I cannot really say like a particular brand when it comes to that. So I will say I got the Canon TC20. When I first got it, I thought it was an amazing printer. I was able to kind of rig it up, and the reviews on it, most people saying, when it comes to the large 24-inch printers, you have the oh wait, actually, two. Are you referring to sublimation or just as a regular printer? Because there's a bunch of different types of printers. But most of them have a 3-inch core. And then this one had a 2-inch core that didn't really have an adapter. And it's really, really hard to find paper or media that's already on the 2-inch core. So I, of course, end up using my creative skills. And I have a foam, actually, it's right here. So because I have a foam cutter that cuts circles, I was able to cut rings, and I created a tube on the inside that basically shrunk that down. I'm sorry. I needed to be a 2-inch. All of the media, which was right, the 3-inch, it was 3-inch. I had to bring it to a 2-inch. So I ended up doing that, and it worked for a while. But the issue also becomes knowing the load for that one. It's not like some of the other printers, and it can handle a heavy load. So I didn't know that. And I put a roll, because when you're buying rolls, they don't really make these little small cutesy rolls. Canon will, but they also charge you an arm and a leg for it. When you're going into the stores, like for me, my sign shops and stuff like Economy Signs, things like that, their rolls are a lot larger. Even the ones that are on Amazon, they are a lot larger. So trying to rewind the media onto a different roll without the proper machinery, it doesn't get as tight. So it kept getting too loose, and it kept causing jams. It's like you have to find the perfect media, and that perfect media isn't made for business. It would be great if you were somebody that just wants to save money, like you're doing like some personal projects and things of that, because everybody that gets a 24-inch printer is not in business. There are people that they get it because either they're like a teacher, or like they just kind of make things like for their kids. They might do like homeschooling, stuff like that, and they just need to have larger prints. So to them, it's nothing to go to Amazon and maybe get like certain rolls, even if it's smaller, and you're paying more for them compared to somebody's in business. Where I said originally, you buy low, sell high, sell higher. So I wasn't able to do that. And it ended up jamming, trying to figure out exactly how much media to put on that roll that it could handle, because it's not like the other ones. So that's the only one that I've personally had experience with in-house. So that's why I'm like, what's a good 24-inch printer? I have not had anything as far as 24 inches as a regular printer other than my Canon TC20. And I now have mixed emotions about it, because I first, like the roll that I had was a smaller roll that worked. Like on the smaller rolls, they work great. The moment I went and I'm like buying the bigger ones, it just couldn't handle it, and it kept getting jammed. So now it just kind of sits there, which now I have to actually send it back. Luckily, I always insure things, so I'm going through the process now of trying to get another one, and I have to be very selective about what I use that for. So the TC20 is great for smaller projects. If you are somebody that's looking to do larger projects and you need the larger rolls, then as a regular printer, you want to look into more like the Epson ones. But I don't think they have like a 24-inch one that's like major, like the large front. I think theirs starts at like 36. So you would look into like one of those. Canon does have one. Like if you go into CVS, if you go into like Walgreens and stuff like that, and you'll be able to see the printer that they print in-house with, it's a Canon. But you have to be mindful that the ink for that is quite pricey for those particular printers. If you're not buying the ink in bulk, you're going to pay more. So you have to be mindful of those things. I don't know what your need really is. I don't know what your budget is. I don't know what your future projections are. So it's kind of hard to just recommend a printer. This is how people get in situations where they hate the printer that someone recommended to them. But I would say really look at the specs. Really look. When I used to do printer reviews, y'all saw I was taking y'all through the specs. What size you needed to print? What resolution do you need it to print? Are you doing a lot of things where you need to print fast? I have my Roland BN20. It doesn't print fast. For a yard sign, it takes 33 minutes for an 18 by 24 inch yard sign. So that, doing quick turnarounds is not, a thing when it comes to that. It cuts even slower because of how it cuts. So that is a machine that if you're wanting to do high volumes, one would have to have multiples of those machines in order to have a sustainable business because it takes so long to print. And then if you're doing decals, the best thing for you to do is to get an outside cutter. That way it does its thing with printing and you're not wasting time cutting on it. These are things that I wish more people talked about in their content and in their reviews and stuff like that. But try to just find as many reviews, making a list of them, doing the pros and cons. These are the things that I do whenever I kind of make a decision. And I saw what people said about the TC20, about the 2-inch core and stuff like that. But I knew I had media here that was on a 2-inch core. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's no problem. But it was once that ran out and I'm really now looking at the price and have to do all that stuff. Now it's like, okay, yeah, this kind of sucks. So what are you looking to make, or what is your budget? What are you looking to make with it? Or is it just regular paper, decals? Because then what is going to be your cutter for that? Or are you just wanting something that you can just print large cutouts without piecing them together? Javaya says the ink is cost an arm and a leg, but so worth it to me, in my opinion. Yeah, Javaya has one of those like Canon type printers, and she always says like that one, she saw her return on investment with the printer and the ink, and she was always like, with her Mamaki, she hasn't fully seen like that full return because that is a little bit different with that. That's a bigger price tag for that one. But Javaya has had some, you can see some of the things that she's created with her Canon printer. So just for larger cutouts, are you purchasing large prints from print companies, or are you still just using a small format printer? All right, so let's see. I see another question here. I recently got an Epson 15,000. What is the best setting to print for I do not use Epson printers for like the Epson 15,000 as a regular printer. The Epson 15,000 was like that printer that I couldn't stand no matter what, because it's always having like issues on some issue side and the regular side. I don't have that printer. I don't have an Epson EcoTank printer at all. I think EcoTank printers are a scam. For the most part. I do have my Canon one, which is what I printed like this passport on. So I have the Canon one. I can't tell you what's going to be the best setting, to be honest. You have to run the gamut. You have to do the test. I mean, asking questions and things for certain things, like, it's cool, but a lot of times you have to do the work. You have to do the testing. So I have some glossy paper, and I just wanted to kind of just see when I printed these out just to do like the test run of them. I just printed them on like the regular plain paper setting. The ink comes off. Like it's still in the living room because I was looking at that and I was like taking notes and stuff on it. Literally, I don't know how many days left. It's just drying. There are some parts of it where I can just take my finger and it's still coming off. But the moment you change it to glossy or premium matte or one of the higher ends, there is something in that printer where it's going to change the way that it puts down the ink, and it's not going to smear, it's not going to flake off, it's not going to do like certain things. You won't know that. Oh, another thing is, even with the color, are these not these, hold on. Nope. Dang it. Where are ya? It must be the one that is. Okay. If you look at these two, which let me turn down that a little bit. Nah, that doesn't help any really to see it. The thing about LED lights is it makes it so bright, but you can still see. Here, to me, I feel like they look horrible, but you can see that these are two different colors. This was printed with the glossy setting. This was printed with the matte setting. I told you I will geek out about printers. This is the part that most people don't. And I'm supposed to be cleaning up. Let me take my microphone with me. I should have charged up my little lapel one because I got to clean up, y'all. So y'all gonna see the back of my head while I explain this, okay? So the way printers work, it changes how it puts down ink. It changes like your settings affects how it puts down ink. It affects the amount of ink and the number of droplets that make up certain colors. The settings will do that. If it's on best versus like your regular standard. When I was first doing them, I printed out on regular. It had banding lines in it because I just needed to see it. I didn't need it to be the greatest print ever. So I printed it on like just standard glossy or standard matte, just so I can kind of see it and I can make sure that my cuts were right, because I don't cut mine one by one. I have a large format cutter that will cut through all of them at one time. So I'm not doing them one by one. And then I also have I have an industrial corner punch that will cut through 300 regular sheets, probably like with the cardstock. I can cut through, like, I only have to do 9 of them. And it's like 8 pages per like booklet or whatever. I can literally cut through all of them, set them all up. Only thing I have to do individually or manually is going to be scoring it and stapling them. And then once I do that, I can pack them all, put them on there, do the corner punch on all of them at one time. So my process is like a little bit different. So I'm like, I had to make sure my cuts were correct in order for me to do it on here. So I don't need it to be the best quality. I just needed to print. I mean, at one point, this is how I first did it, just to make sure it was going, this is something that I teach. I don't know why y'all not in my classes, because I'm giving y'all, it may seem like more work, but it's less frustration. And it's like knowing those things, like just to be able to test, do you have to go and keep printing out this 30,000 times? Absolutely not. Like I did it with just regular, like a regular color on it. And if you look there, it's banding lines on it. And I don't even know why I did, because eventually I was like, girl, we still wasting color. I do them in black and white. I just had to do it where I made sure that my cuts were on point, because I have like a little grid, a little guide on here, so I know where to put it at for each cut. So print settings affects like all of those different things. You've got to run the gamut. You have to run the test. Now, let's say you're going through it, you've done all of them, and like you experience some issues. It's better to then ask a question based off of the results that you got versus just asking someone, hey, what settings do you use? Because if I tell you the settings that I use, but you're using a different brand of paper, your paper in your printer may not react like my paper does in the printer that I'm using. Most times I'm using my pigment ink printer. That's different than the dye-based printer. A 15,000 is a dye-based printer. There's too many variables. The thing that remains consistent though is run the test. Get you a print, put at the bottom, you're printing out matte, standard, print that out. Matte, high, semi-gloss, standard, semi-gloss, high. Like literally print out the color charts. You don't want to print out like an actual design. You want to be able to see all the colors because some colors might be affected by certain settings and some not. Go get our color charts. Like these are so helpful for so many different things. If you don't have it, go to the website, get the color chart, print these out, and whether you type it out on it or once you're done, immediately take a Sharpie, take a pen, whatever, and write what setting was this printed out with. And do that on multiple papers. Every single paper that you have. I have at least 5 different brands of glossy papers, and they all print differently. I have to keep a log of what settings works best with this paper for different things and from which printer. So I take the time to go out, and if I had like a new paper, I'm going to print out from that new paper. I'm going to have like some of those sheets. I'm going to run it on the dye-based printer. I'm going to run it on the pigment ink printer. Same exact print on each one of them, and I just want to see the difference in the results. That is how I live. This is why I am great at what I do, and it's less time. Like I'm not getting frustrated all the time. I'd rather be frustrated, calculated frustration. Like I know it's going to be like, something's going to come out. It's going to be like wrong, whatever. It's not an order. To figure out things and to like have something go wrong when you're in the midst of an order is the most frustrating thing ever. Why would you do that to yourself? Take the time when you're not busy. You're trying to get the orders anyway. You have the time. Take the time to run the test. I can answer these questions. Like once you kind of people present things to me that has like a solid answer, I'm able to answer them because guess what? I've run the gamut. I've been through the test. I do it for everything. When it comes to projects, I don't ever print a final shirt for sublimation or press a final shirt without running a test print first. Even if it's, I'm going to make it small, I'm going to print it out, I'm going to press that and make sure it's the right colors. What adjustments do I have to make? Whereas others, it's like they just want to print and go, and I can't operate that way. So because you have only ever used a small printer, Deborah, my recommendation is don't look into getting your own 24-inch printer right off the bat. You need to order prints. Before I got my Roland, I was ordering prints. Outsource the printing to see what that is like. Especially if you're talking adhesive, what is that going to be like to try to apply it? Can you get it down smoothly? Trying out different companies. The way that CVS and Walgreens prints and their material is different than if you were to find a local print shop or, even one that's online. I'm able to print from my Roland. You can go, the website isn't fully set up, but like Infinite Print Solutions, I think is what it's called, is what Javaya's one will be. And then, but it's under Gifted Hands by Javaya. She has the Mamaki. She has a different type of vinyl that she will use. There's air release vinyl. There's your standard vinyl. There's so many layers to this, but most people don't know about these things because they're just running straight to getting the printer instead of ordering from different companies, asking them what it is that they're printing on so that you know the quality of it. Are you able to easily put down, like, you got the hang of it? Because it's a big difference going from a small printer and piecing it together. Even if you are applying adhesive or a glue gun, doing that in a smaller section, like a small piece, okay, I can do this, I can put that down, compared to now, how do I take this really, really large piece, because this is different than this. That's a really big difference, right? So how do I now take this super large piece and put it down to where I can get it down without bubbles, without it messing up and things of that nature? If you mess up, yeah, you have to order another one, but that's the part of learning. That learning comes with mistakes. Learning comes with, I don't consider it to be wasted money, but I can see how the brain says that's wasted money. It's going to come with some unusable things that you cannot sell when you are testing. So if you have not made your cutouts or anything with some sort of large format print by outsourcing it, that is going to be the first step before you look into a printer. Do CVS. You can submit your stuff. We can print it out for you. For most people, when it comes to shipping, like it's really inexpensive for that print when you order from the right place. It's the shipping part for it to get to you. I don't control shipping. I'm not eating the shipping cost. So you might go and get literally a $5 print, but it's going to cost you $8 if you want it priority mail to get to you. So I recommend finding places that are local. I promise you guys they are local. Local could be within a 50-mile radius. It doesn't have to be like at your back door, because even if they ship it to you, it's not going to cost as much as me shipping it across country, and they're just shipping it from 2 counties or 2 towns over. Get the larger prints from someone that already has it, and keep a notebook, keep a journal, take these notes, write it down, compare and contrast. Do you like the way the colors come out? Is it grainy? Is it this? Is it like, there are so many things that I have compared over the years where it helped me make decisions. Like, the rolling is slow as crap, but the print quality is immaculate. It is amazing, even though it prints slow as crap. So it's like, I get great print quality, but I have to sacrifice the time. So if you've ordered from like Walgreens, and if you like those prints, then get the printer that they have. That's not like a specialized printer. That's a regular printer. It's a Canon one. Get that particular printer. Yep, that's what just happened to me, and it makes me want to walk away. Yeah, when you have mistakes in the middle of an order, it really messes with your mental. It can really, really, I mean, it's not to say that even with the test trials, you can still run into issues, which is why the way that I price and the way that I teach pricing is so critical, because you may not profit all the time, like when things come up, but you also should not be in the negative just because there was a mishap. That's why my teachings on pricing and things is so, so, so critical. And I got cutter. Look, I got this cut, and I'm actually about to buy another one because this one, the handle messed up. It's always popping up. I feel like it's a safety hazard. And after I got this one, they came out with one that has the plate that, like, when you pull it down, it actually keeps the paper intact if you're cutting through a bunch of it, so that it doesn't shift and move. So I don't really necessarily, I won't probably get another Fisker one. This is more craft related, but I am going to get another, what this is called a guillotine cutter, So I have another guillotine cutter that's on my radar to get. Because pulling this out and doing all the stuff for this one, like it's hard to see where the cutting is. Where on this one I can kind of line it up and do quick cuts. So I have to get another cutter. Like I've learned over the years, one tool isn't like your like there's no such thing as like the perfect tool, the perfect printer. All of my printers serve me differently. All of my supplies and like equipment serves me differently. Like I have this, and then I had to pull out this is my old faithful one. It's all broken and stuff, but I also have this one. When I don't have a lot of space to work with, I have this one. This one was also a cutter. So if I wanted to be able to cut, I can line up on this one and cut as well. So I'm never looking for one thing that's like the right whatever. Like I get things based off of their features and how they're going to work in whatever it is that I'm doing. Like they're both scoreboards, but they serve two different purposes for me. All right. Where was I at? I can't even put those up because I can't even get to that corner over there. I need the broom. That's what I need. Ugh. That's what I need. I need the broom. So who else here is having the issue of niching down? Who else feels like they're having an issue of niching down? The last project that I did, this was so I always have a guide. This was a guide for the last project that I did. And now I have like a new one. It's stuff like this too. Most people would not think to go get something because this is like a drywall. Like this is for drywall. This is a T-square. And it's literally called a drywall T-square. And the average crafter would not think to get like one of these. Like it's like thinking outside of the box, I guess you would say, because I do a lot of larger cuts and longer cuts. I needed something that was longer. And although it says it's a drywall T-square, I needed it for straight cuts and for extended cuts. I do a lot of cheer signs and things of that nature. So I have a lot of equipment that I've had to get over the years, and getting this came after the frustration of taking a ruler and making a line and then having to bring it down some more or measure it in here, make a little mark, bring it down some, measure, make a little mark. Then I have to connect all of those marks to then go in and be able to cut it and move it and all that stuff. And that ends up making you feel like, oh my God, I'm not being paid enough for this. I'm not charging enough for this, because you're doing steps that's going to take forever. You're doing it the long way. Those are truly the hacks. It's so funny to me that, like, let's say somebody will literally make a video and say, oh my God, I found the perfect hack to cutting out your signs, like for straight. All you have to do is like go to Home Depot and you're going to get a 40-inch dry inch T-square. Oh my God, it saved my life. This is the greatest hack ever. This is the way to do it. The way that you were doing it was the hack. It's not the intended way. Like, it's so funny to me that when people discover a more like the proper way to do things, it becomes the hack. I don't understand that theory. Like, I don't understand that way of thinking, like, at all. But it's like, it makes your life easier. Yes. Hacks don't make your life easier all the time. Hacks don't make your life easier. They can be more of an issue because most time people are wanting a hack to save money, which means it's going to cost you more time. So I'm just not like that person. But when you're in business, doing all of those little things make you feel like, oh my God, I'm not being charged enough. Or people understand how long it takes and and they don't want to charge you whatever. I know my worth. No, you're doing it the long way, babes. If you're in business, when are you going to start working on efficiency? When are you going to start taking that money and reinvesting it or in education to learn about the things that's going to make your life move more efficiently, like make your business move more efficiently to where you don't feel burnt out for the amount of money that you're getting? Big companies, they're able to work in higher volumes and certain things because they're working on efficiency. I seem to be all over the place, and every time something new comes out, I'm trying it. That's a discipline issue. Y'all have no discipline. If every time something new comes out, you feel like you have to do it, you have no discipline. What have y'all not seen me do that is trending right now? Have y'all seen me do one of the number one trending things in the crab space? What do you not see me do? What do you not see me make? Clock fans, I am not doing no clock. I don't care. I don't care about no boots on the ground trend at all. I did not rush out, spend all this money, do this. I could care less. My business is not affected by me not doing no clack fans just because there are some people that is their entry point. They were not committed to anything. No one knows them for anything. They don't have any other equipment or like any other blanks. That was their entry point. And then there are some where they're still in the open. I'm still open to try things and figure out what is it that I need. I'm at a place of established business and I know what I want to do and what I don't want to do. Clack fans ain't one of them. Like, it's just not something that I need in business to be sustainable. Someone said money bouquets. I went and got the fake money because I don't understand that either. Because one, as a recipient, who finna untape 100 bills? Who? Don't give me the fake one and give me a gift card or give me a clean $100 bill, and this would just be cute. It's what I think it is, the dumbest trend in the world, because who finna sit here and take all this down? The ones that got big, who finna take down 200? Who finna take down 200 of these? Who? Lies you tell. I'm not gonna waste my time making them, and I don't that ain't cute. Oh, I'm so sweet. Oh my God. No, you made more work for me. You don't like me. It's anybody that gives somebody them big behind money bouquets where they got to untape all this stuff, and then when they helping to do all these bamboo sticks. Now I got to break all these down so they're not poking me, poking my kids, and I got to put them in the trash. You don't like me, do you? What you trying to do? Keep me preoccupied or something? Like, what did you try? No, my take on it, anybody that gives somebody a bouquet with all that stuff and it's real money, they got to, I have to work. It's supposed to be a gift, but I now have to work to get the gift. I know you lying. Just don't give me a gift no more. Don't give me a gift anymore. Because why? I hate those things. They make no sense to me whatsoever. So yeah, you'll never catch me doing that. I was going to do it for video sake. So I end up getting like some fake money from Amazon just to show the technique. I wasn't going to do the whole big one. It was just to show the technique. And I was like, hell no. Gave that money to Zion Imani. Here you go, son. Have a ball. Play with it. Play store. I'm not doing it. Not gonna happen, Captain. And then it's like, when people complain about the price of those things, one, you got to pay. If you want a $100 bouquet with $100 bill, like $101 bills, the cost of this, of course, is going to be, it's going to be $100, like at the minimum. Then I have to sit here and individually wrap. There's no way to speed up the process. That is something that there is no way to make it more efficient. There is not a machine that you can buy that's going to curl them and tape them for you. So you have to individually do all of those. You can't just do it with any old bills. You then have to go to the bank and wait for a teller to give you crisp bills to do this. So I have to now go to the bank to be able and wait to be able to get these crisp bills to do this. That's adding on to the cost, adding on to the labor. So when you go and you want $100 worth of $100 worth of singles, yet I'm charging you $300 to make it. People, oh my God, you're gonna pay. You could just gave a person the $300. Yeah, you could have. That is something that I don't get. You're going to give somebody money, but you had to pay somebody money to make it. Bro, you could have just gave me that whole $300. I'm so confused. I don't get that trend whatsoever. Unless it was fake money. But even then, I think it's stupid because you still have to pay someone to make it, even with the fake money. Bro, instead of giving it to them, you could have just given me all of that money. Just say you don't like me. That's all. And somebody said, who finna? Not I, said the cat. She says, you for sure don't do all the trends. Those fans are one. And do not. So you don't have to feel like every time something new comes out, because there's some very creative people in the world and something new is going to come out like all the time. And there are things like, I know when I put this out, I'm probably going to get questions, inquiries, things like that. And I'm not going to do it, but I don't want to be consumed by just making those. I'm going to come right back to the niche part because I asked the question, who else has an issue with the niching down? Good morning. I have been watching your channel for a while now and came to the conclusion that you are the master of your craft. I would like to speak with you about initial 25 to 100 shirt t-shirt creation. And you would like for our company to make them for you, or you have an order and you want to know how to go, like the best way to go about it. I also want to learn from you. I do the fans because I line dance. Doesn't mean that you have to, though. I understand, like, I mean, for you, I get, okay. So for you, it may make sense, right? But you also have to think about at what cost. So although it is within your, okay, do you teach the line dances or you're just going to like participate in different line dances? So you may have a captive audience. I don't know what your sales were like before. Were you really, really swamped with things and then this now took over for you? Is it just an even balance for you to where you're only doing a few fans here and there? They're not your bread and butter, or have they become your bread and butter? So for some people, it really has become kind of like their bread and butter right now. And all they're doing is like fan on top of fan on top of fan on top of fan. It could introduce you to, like, it could open you up to a new audience. I am not saying that fans are bad. I have people that I have taught how to, I did a whole video on how to design the template for it. So I'm not saying that it's bad. It just does not have a place in my business. And what you have to realize is what has a place in your business. For you being within that line dance space, having them may make it where you're able to give someone a fan. And if you do it correct, you play it right, they now know about all the other things. Well, if you actually made them aware and not just gave them this fan, if you made them aware of what else you are able to do, it gives you new traffic. It gives you new clients. It gives you new leads. I am at a point in business for me where I don't need something like Clack fans to generate new leads. I had all of my old customers coming to me saying, girl, I need me a fan. Sorry, I don't do it. And I had no problem saying no. I did not see that as missing out on money, leaving money on the table. It did not fit in my time schedule. Like it just doesn't. I referred them to someone else. So let's say you have a really big business, and although you do line dancing and it's popular now, it doesn't mean that you have to be the person to do that. You know what to look for. You become an industry expert. So you know the right places, the right people to order from and things of that nature. And you just be a broker. You just be the middleman for someone getting fans, or you're going to get it. And like, let's say you design, but somebody else makes it. So you can be a part of a trend, a part of an industry without being a part of all of it. That whole one-stop shop thing is exhausting. It's exhausting. You could be a part of something and just do one section of it. You be the one that design, because the fan can't get made without design. To me, that's where the money is. The money is in the designing. If you're charging and you're not scared, I'm gonna put it that way. The money is in the designing if you're not scared to charge for designing. Too many of you guys are afraid to charge for designing. Your design fees are like $15 for extensive stuff. If we're talking like a simple line, just set some stuff up, okay, 15. But y'all are doing full on. I've seen people, I'm in a group, and like for obituaries, and people are like $75. Baby, my obituary start out, not any prints, basic designs for an 8-page, actually no, for the trifold is $173.65. I'm not doing no full-on obituary. And you know the turnaround time for an obituary, and y'all around here charging $50 and $75. Are you crazy? If you're if you're proficient in what you do. Now, when you're just starting off, yes, you might be within that range. But I've seen people who are seasoned. They are teaching classes or doing videos on them. But then they talk about pricing and their price is low. Excuse me? There's no way. There's no way. No way. Oh, for me to make them? All right, so you can, I'm on live right now, so please don't call right now. But you can give us a call, 754-333-0335, to kind of get, so I'll ask you all of the onboarding and like, questions to figure out like what it is that you're needing, the types of shirts. Is it all the same design? Will we have to design them, or, is it just printing them? What type of feel that you're wanting? So we'll literally go through all of that. So give me a call later on. After if you see me here and I'm off live, you can call immediately. Just make sure that it's before 6:30 because I have a class, my creative business program at 7. But yeah, so we'll get started that way. Again, 754-333-0335, or just email us at info@hsink365prints.com. And then with your phone number and stuff, and we'll get back with you. Same here. The fans do not have a place in my business either. If potential customers ask me for a clack fan, t-shirts, tumblers, export tables, I refer them to others. Yep. Look, I don't send so many people to my girl up in Broward. I Love It Customs, baby. I sent them plenty of business. I'm the queen of referring others. Amen. We'll do it all day, every day. She says, the fans gave me a boost. Do I feel like I could have done without them? Yes, but it helped. Was it the boost in you selling the blanks or making the physical fans, like all of the different designs, all of the like pressing all of them? And then that was the other thing too. It's one thing to have like set designs that you're doing, and it's a custom kind of design, and you can't find it in the store. But so many people were doing these super personalizers where they have to design for each individual person, and you were not compensating. Like, you were not compensated in any way, shape, or form for all of this one-time design work that you were doing. And yeah, that's not going to happen, Captain. Okay, so let's talk about niches real quick, okay? Let's talk. Oh, look, here's a game book. I have, my niece is now 11. I'm a creature of habit. Same way I made this. Well, same way I made this. What was this? 5 years ago? Same way I made this one. So I've had activity books and I've, and coloring books type stuff for the longest. And so now it's just a matter of combining those two worlds with the passport that I created in 2012 with the activity books. Well, and this is hers, not the first one that I did. I've been doing activity books for a while too. But it's now just combining different skills together. But so the blanks, yeah, see, because so for you, yeah, it gave you a boost because so many people wanted them. And if you got in early enough before the vendors started putting them on Amazon, a lot of the smaller businesses, like who are really like embedded in like groups and stuff, you were able, like, China didn't catch on to how much of a trend it was until so many of the crafters started ordering them. So getting them, you had to kind of get them from like, especially the ones that you can submit, you're getting them from crafters who became vendors because they're going over there. So now when you got 30,000 people, like, all these people going trying to get these made from overseas, now those same companies, they're selling them in what I like to call like in like retail format. Like, they're not selling it by like the case on Amazon, but you can get like a set of 4, a set of 6, a set of this, a set of that on Amazon. So some people, they're just wanting to try it out, they're going there. But the ones who kind of got in at the ground level when they were just becoming popular and getting those in, like, that gave a lot of people a boost with having those blanks. But now you can, it's like, and like with the phrase, you can find them on every street corner now. But it did give a lot of people a good boost as far as new traffic to their websites. Okay, here's the thing about niching. So the person that asked about niching said party favors, sublimation, eco-solvent, etc., right? Some people see niching as one method. To me, that's not a niche, right? Just doing like figuring out certain methods. That's all that they are. Your niche would be if you're doing parties, and you can even break that down even more, right? So you're an event planner, or I'm going to say even an event planner. You are an event. It's not really always decorator because you're not going there. You are, because so some people call it event style. So there's like in the event, you have event planners, you have event stylists, you have event decorators. You're just like a supplier, like a florist. They will do stuff for event. They're not planning the whole thing. They're just a florist. That's the part that they add to it. So you would be basically someone in the event space. It's just an event vendor, right? And somebody would come to you, and you're going to be able to do a multitude of things for this one particular like event. You may have a laser machine, a laser cutter, and you're going to cut some, like you're doing higher end, and you're cutting acrylic pieces. You're cutting, even if it's not really high end things, it's stuff that's like all of your parties have this. Like you're using your laser cutter to cut out a bunch of drink stirrers, or you're like, little things for like the tops of cups, stuff that's like really small. You can get a lot of it out of even like the smallest of sheets. You can get a bunch out of it. So you're working in high volume. So you may have this laser machine and you're doing that, but then you may now add on like an UV printers that you can print directly onto these things. Or you may invest in a white toner printer so that you can go and press to the acrylic, like a fully colored design to the acrylic. But you're doing all of this for some sort of event. Someone can come to you and it's like, okay, well, I'll do baby showers, I'll do weddings, I'll do retirements, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like I'll do corporate stuff, whatever. Like they got the skills and they can handle any type of event. Corporate events and personal events are not the same. They're not the same at all. You cannot approach them the same way. The way that you get paid is different. If you are that person that's like I'm not doing any work until I get paid, please don't even think about going into a lot of these corporate spaces, because a lot of the work on the thing that y'all want, the credit, right? Y'all. So as a small business, it's like, oh my God, I need business credit. And the net 30 and the net 60 and the net 90 accounts and stuff like that, right? You want other companies, or you want bigger companies to do that for you. But guess what? The bigger companies expect as well. They're looking for companies that's going to do net 30s and net 90s. And so it's accounts payable and accounts receivable. A lot of these big corporate orders, you get the order, you do the work, and you get paid on the back end from an invoice. It's not immediate, and it's not always you're going to get paid before you do the job. So if that is your mentality and you're not ready to switch out of that mentality, baby, don't go corporate. You can't. Don't go. You can't if that is going to be your mentality, because they're not going to pay you. If your business is not at a point to where you can kind of foot that bill on the front end, especially like a lot of stuff, and then you get it on the back end, you're not ready for that. You need to stick and deal with the people that's going to nickel and dime you, and that's going to drive you crazy. It may seem like, oh my God, I want to work corporate orders. I want to have contracts. Contracts get paid after the fact. They get paid after the fact. Okay. So you may not be able to be within the niche, or something like you can't put on your website, you can't put on your social media that you service commercial accounts, because you're not set up for that. You don't even know where to go at to get your stuff wholesale to supply the people that want $100 unit orders, 500 units. It sounds great to you, but you don't even know where to source it at. You then end up in the groups because you're not doing your homework. You're not doing your research beforehand to be prepared for it. The things that you guys saying that you want, half of y'all, I'm trying to be nice. 90% of y'all have not done any work and put in any real work towards these big goals that you want, these big clientele, these big orders that you want. You wouldn't even know where to start at if this order came into you, if it was presented to you right now. And then you will be frustrated. Not to say that you'll probably still take it. You're going to be frustrated through it. You're going to feel like, oh my God, this wasn't enough, because you did not take the time to even prepare a little bit for it. Not even a little bit. So there's super niches within, there's niches and niches. So you can do parties. I have told this before. I have clients that I am mentoring on a business level. They only do children's. It makes it to where the things that they order, they don't have to worry about carrying all these different sizes. It is frustrating trying to then go order. You got from small to 5X, and you're trying to scramble. Anybody got a 3X, an extra, just trying to keep all the inventory. But to be able to keep youth sizes, not youth and adults, just youth sizes for certain things. When it comes to the design elements, they're not going crazy trying to figure out 30 million different damn fonts. They can be selective about the fonts that they choose. They're not going crazy. They can be selective about the elements that they choose, the way that they design. Their life in business is easier because they don't have to keep switching and turning on different things and keep jumping from ideas. A lot of the times it's the same thing, just a different color, a different character. But the way that their brain has to process for this kid design is going to be the same. But trying to go from really kitty and cutie and, to super sophisticated, that takes a lot out of you. So although you might be in the event planning or just providing certain things, are you doing kid stuff? Do you want to deal with milestone birthdays? Do you want to do special occasions? There's some that they won't do the wedding, but they'll do bridal showers. They'll do bachelorette parties and bachelorette parties. They will do baby showers and things of that nature, but they're never going to do a birthday party. I can do celebrations, but not necessarily birthdays. And then there's some people, nope, I will do all these things for your bridal shower, your bachelorette party, your bachelor party, but I'm not touching weddings with a 10-foot pole. And then there's some people, they're going to do weddings. And within doing stuff for the weddings, and as they're planning, they're providing all these services, they can have stuff they're printing on a sublimation printer, on an eco-solvent printer, on a laser printer, on a UV printer, but everything that they're doing is for weddings. So niching down has nothing to do with just the type of printer or equipment or whatever that you do. If you decide that you want to do party favors, do you need to do all of the party favors? There are some, they love doing the 3D things. They want to do the pillows. They want to do the pyramids. They want to do the fancy boxes, and they're going to make a book bag that they're going to put 3 crayons in and one little rolled up piece of, what's that thing called? Coloring page. They like those things. They have the clientele for that. And then you have the people that's like me. I might do it for my kids. But for others, you are getting the bare minimum. I'm not doing all that other foolishness. It's just not worth it to me. In the way that my business is set up, there is no machine that makes doing the 3D paper crafting easier, other than paying a couple $100s for a die plate. But then that means that these things all have to be the same. It's being very consistent with the sizes and things like that. And then you can get a die plate that, instead of going out and buying all these machines, you still have to load all the mats. You got to hit a button. You got to put it in there. You got to go and hit send to 8 different machines. And then you got to take them all off. You got to do this. You got to put the next one on, or, it's still a lot of manual things compared to you get to a certain point and you're very consistent in what you order, what you're making. Your thing is, hey, I have the milk cartons. You can put whatever design you want on here. If it's bridal shower, if it's wedding, whatever, it's this cute little box. Everybody's always going to be the same as far as the base layer of it. but I can take all these sheets, even if you print them out. You will print them out. Everything is in one area. I have this die plate. I'm going to put it on it, and it's going to go through 50 sheets in one press. Whereas the next person is loading up 5 machines 10 times. Yet I'm going to take all these, boom, 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 go through them. I'm through 50. I can now start the assembly process. There's levels to this. What level are you on? That is where sometimes like niches come into play. It's not the equipment or the process. It's who are you serving? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say on that one. She says, and they won't say thank you. To be honest, if someone is paying for a service and you were compensated in what, like, you got what you wanted out of this, you wanted the funds, it's courtesy, and people will say, oh, it's manners and things like that. But are they obligated to? No. I mean, it's something that we're conditioned to say, especially if it's something that's going to be delivered to someone. I think it's harder when someone comes and they will get something from you. Sometimes, it's like kind of like saying the thank you when you're in person. Excuse me. But if you're shipping it off to someone, it's very rare that you're going to get a call back that's going to say thank you. Like, my transaction is done. How many times are you saying thank you? Do you call Amazon and say thank you every time your order is delivered? Do you go on that website and say thank you? Like, do you go on their listing and say thank you every time it's delivered? No. It's transactional. It's not personal. It's transactional. Every single day, we make transactions that we don't say thank you to. And that's how a lot of people are like, I got to keep it moving. Half the time we go to a store and someone is ringing up stuff. And unless they say, okay, have a great day, most time, you're not saying thank you. That person just sat there, rang up all your grocery stuff, bagged it up, whatever. And thank yous don't always come, because sometimes you're on your phone, whatever. They go, they do the transaction, whatever. And you might do a little, all right, I'm done. But thank you is not always said in transactions. You got your money. I don't owe you a thank you. It's an interpersonal interaction, though. Do we have an interpersonal relationship, or do we have a professional relationship? When you come and you are purchasing this from me, it's a professional transaction. It's not an interaction. It's a transaction. No one owes you a thank you when a transaction takes place. And it's okay. It is okay that you say thank you for everything. It doesn't make the next person wrong because they don't. We can't get in our feelings because people are not like us. And the way that you would do things, you are you, they are them. And if they see it as just being an interaction, a transaction, you got your money. I don't owe you a thank you. Even when it comes to, it's nice to hear. Sometimes people want to hear, like, you want to know that it's a matter of like feeling like appreciated. Some people need that, but it's like, I chose to come and do this class. I chose to, did I lose internet? And I said that when people, is it still here? Let me know if I'm still live, because I lost over here. I don't know if I'm still live. So she says that's not the same. If I'm in front of an actual person, I'm saying thank you. But so the reason why this came up was I was saying, like, if you're working with a company, it's different. And then Javaya, because I have like a bunch of different threads going on, she was like, and they don't say thank you. But in most situations like that, you may not, because it's like sometimes they don't see the person. And I said that it's different if somebody's coming to pick something up from you, and it might be okay, it's like a thank you, whatever. They'll say thank you, whatever, for whatever. And then some people's definition of what thank you means, right? And what the appreciation is. Like, as a company, they're not going to post you, I did a transaction, I gave you what you needed. I don't need to go and post you and say I got it from this person. For some people, that is the appreciation that they're looking for. They want that outward. And I'm not saying that's you, Javaya. I'm just, because now it's just a general conversation. But some people are wanting that public thank you for, hey, thank you for, for doing this, for making this for me. But it's a transaction. A thank you is, what I'm saying is a thank you is not required. I am one where I'm very much on please and thank you, even in my household, but I don't get offended if somebody doesn't, like, where I'm like so up in my chest about that, because I don't feel like I'm entitled to a thank you just because I did something. If I'm on here and people go and say, okay, thank you for sharing, thank you for your time, all right, cool. But at the same time, I chose to be on here for however long it is. I've said that, like, I don't care. Look, thank me by doing a transaction. The thank you would be you going to the website and you purchasing this paper. The thank you for my time, me being on here, would be you sharing it out, you tagging a friend, you commenting, you going to go book a class. That's thank you enough for me, because it's bringing money into my pockets. Like, it's all about perspective. And a lot of people may not even, like, some people want to hear it, whereas some, they're so distracted, they're doing their transaction, stuff like that, and it's just kind of like, they'll give it like the nod, as kind of a, like, thank you, whatever. They're not really saying anything. But there are times where people are rushing, you're going to go do stuff, and we cannot say that every time that someone has done something, has completed a transaction, that you have said thank you every single time. Sometimes you're in your feelings and don't even think about it, and a thank you does not happen. We are all human. And if everybody is different, and if you judge people too harshly, and you're holding them to, just because it's your standard and it doesn't make them a bad person because they don't say thank you back, or they don't say thank you because you said it. Or, now if you say, that's like, too, sometimes you'll say thank you. Some people feel like the natural reaction to thank you is you're welcome. Not everybody says you're welcome. Some people respond back like, there's no response back at all. Like, at what point does the interaction end? And it's not to say that, I guess for me, it's like, that's where we differ at. I'm not. So here's the thing that you have to also realize when you're listening to people talk about certain things. I am one where I can play devil's advocate. Even if I am a person that more often than not, I'm going to say thank you, I can still understand when someone does it, and I don't allow that to stress me out, or make me feel some type of way. Like, I can understand, and it's a transaction, and I'm not entitled to a thank you just because I myself may do that, because that is my personality, that is how my brain is wired. Doesn't mean that I should expect that from other people, is what I am saying. Sometimes it's just a transaction, and you're not going to get you out of everyone, and that is okay. Hello, Manita said the payment is a thank you, because some people ain't even getting that. Some people not even getting a payment, and they on these groups frustrated because they did all this work and they don't have a payment. Transactions are different than interactions, which is why they're different words. They have different meanings. Because every day we have interactions and there are transactions. I was about to say something, but that's married people talk. I ain't always saying thank you when I get that transaction in the marital space. That was a transaction. Oh, Jesus. Because I like, it's kind of weird. It's weird for me. I raised them, but it is still weird for me. Like, I would never get upset if they did. I'll say that. We're like, when you cook, and they be like, thank you. They're supposed to let you starve. Like, I chose to have kids. That's a part of it. Me cooking for, like, I never understand that. Like, sometimes where it's like, okay, thank you. And it's like, I mean, oh, this was good, Mom. I'm glad you like it, baby. Like, that's good for me. But like, it's some people, it's like they want their kids to say thank you because they fed them. Nigga, that's your job. That is your job. I do find it weird. Like, sometimes my husband say stuff and he'll be like, oh, thank you, babe. And I'm just like, it wasn't nothing special. The hell we saying thank you for? Which I know for him, and like, when you are somebody that's like that, when somebody doesn't, it might make you feel like they don't care or like you're not appreciated. So I do understand that because I have to catch myself. So it's like when you have, like she said, like when you have this personal relationship with someone and you know how they are, sometimes you make adjustments for their sake, not your own. I don't see that as this thing of like, okay, if you don't say thank you every time I do something, because for me, that shit is annoying. If every time I move, thank you, just like if you sneezing all 30,000 times, I'm not finna say bless you 1,000,001 times. If you sneeze right now and then you go on the sneezing spell in about 5 minutes, I blessed you the first time. I'm finna keep bless you. God bless you. God, you need to go blow your nose. You need to go. You sick? Because that's gonna be my next thing. I'm not gonna give you too many bless yous. That's just me. Same way. I'm in the comfort of my house. I don't understand how people go and certain things happen, and it's excuse me. I'm in my personal space. I burped, and MJ will look at me like, "You're not gonna say excuse me, Negro? No, no, I'm not saying that." She said, "My max for bless you is 2. Amen and amen." MJ, good for that. You burp and he look at you. Back on my phone. You're not gonna say excuse me? For what? I'm in my house. And then you brought your behind to my room. Ain't nobody asked you to come to my room. Get my face. Now, if I'm at the dinner table, it's different. But if I'm just sitting there watching television, you ain't got to be in here. Goodbye. Same thing if I pass. It's a part of life. I drunk Pepsi. A burp is going to come. Okay? Get over it. Sean, I just realized that. Let me put this man jerseys back. I did the class on making custom jerseys, and I just realized I never put this man jerseys back in his closet. Child, let me put this man's stuff back. Where the hangers went? Child, these hangers was on the floor. Exactly. And let loose and will. And won't think nothing of it. I like thank yous for the stuff that I ain't got to do and I did it anyway. Like when them little rugrats, I'm like, it's food in the house, but I still take my behind out to McDonald's. Yes, tell me thank you for leaving out this house to go get you some McDonald's when you could have ate what was in here. But me just cooking, I feel like that's kind of shady. Saying thank you for, like I don't feed you. It's almost like, well, thank you for finally feeding me, mother. I feed you every day. Some thank yous feel shady. Don't be laughing at me, Javaya. Oh, okay, wait. So wait, I'm gonna get off this. All right, so this, I just thought about this. Now, when someone orders something from you, from us, right? There's an email that goes out, thank you for your purchase. Because that's a situation of you did not have to choose us. You could have gone with any sublimation paper company. You chose us. We thank you for that. You had options. So we thank you for choosing us. I thank you for choosing to enroll in one of our amazing classes. Thank you, right? Once they, so because I did my job in shipping it, I didn't do any work as far as it getting to you. So is the thank you warranted to me? Or should you then be contacting UPS, USPS, and telling them thank you for getting your package? I just did my job in like shipping it. Where does that thank you line stop? Because we can go think, oh, well, thank you for telling me thank you. I appreciate that. Girl, no problem, whatever, thank you for acknowledging my appreciation for you. Girl, that is so sweet. Thank you for that. When does the thank you stop? Because technically it can go back and forth, and that's the part that I find annoying. I don't know. That's just me. Someone says I have excellent logic. It's a blessing and a curse, though. I will say that. Being someone who's both sides of your brain works in overtime is a blessing and a curse, because I can be very analytical and logical, yet creative, and sometimes a little too spontaneous, and it's a battle in my brain. So, yeah. But I thank you for that compliment, though. I take that as a compliment, because the word excellent, like there are key words where it's like someone, you have excellent logic. So I thank you for that observation. I need a broom so bad because it's more like I need to figure out a system, because what is really driving me crazy, I'm going to pick them up little by little. My floor is like riddled in these because when I'm cutting, it doesn't just like fall. Like I keep pushing the stuff because of how this is. If it gets too much stuff there, and I probably should have a trash can on that side, but I don't have the space to have a trash can on that side. So most times they end up hitting the floor, and I really need to get the broom to sweep this crap up off the floor because it's a bunch of these. When's your birthday? My son is as well. MJ is a Taurus Gemini cusp. His birthday is May 20th, literally on the cusp. He is both. Especially since he was supposed to be born as a full-on Gemini, he is both. Both. Oh my gosh. I am a full-on Gemini, okay? Which is bad in and of itself because as a twin, the Gemini twins, it's like literally two different people. It could be night and day, personality-wise. But MJ is a different breed. MJ is a different breed. Oh, yes. MJ's birthday is May 20th. I mean, yeah, it is the cusp. It's in between both because, 21st, technically, you're more Gemini than you are Taurus. I'm just saying. Mine is May 30th. Actually, both of my kids are cusp babies because Zion Imani is April 19th. So he's in his personality definitely gives cusp baby. Yes. He's stuck between because child, that kid is amazing. To have a kid where science says the odds are stacked against him, he is a freaking amazing. And I was sick, and here's where appreciation comes in at, and just the thank you parts of it, that was just most of my heart. So because I don't want them to get sick, I put Zion Imani to bed. I lay in the bed with him. We give hugs and kisses every single day. I could not give my kid hugs and kisses for days. I could not put him to bed. One, we try to keep him from getting sick because he already has epilepsy, which makes him predisposed to seizures. He has seizures. So getting sick and having a febrile seizure would just be even worse. So try to stay away from them so that they didn't get sick. And last night was the first day that I could actually lay in the bed and he's like, "You're going to lay down with me? Oh, wow, Mom, thank you." And I'm like, I was mush. Oh my God. I was mush. Oh my gosh. I was mush with that thank you. And being able to finally lay in the bed with my kid to put him to bed. Okay? Because for a whole week, I could not, because I don't want him to get sick. But that kid right there, the stuff, like when I'm putting him to bed and the things that he says, I crack up every single night putting that kid to bed because he is hilarious. And I love him so much. That's my baby. Oh, Lord, I can actually walk that way to put up. How do you guys store your cardstock? So I have mine by certain colors in these bins, and I had to pull one out to get some cardstock, and I need to put it back. My current setup does not allow for me to have it the way that I did before, which is a struggle for me. I used to have them on a shelf, and I can easily pull it out, put it back. But the way that this setup is in here, I don't have the space for the shelf that those used to be, like little cubbies those used to be in. So they're literally just stacked one on top of another. And so getting one out, you got to like move this out, move that out, whatever, to put things back, or like trying to lift it up to like pull it out, but then going to go put it back. Like now it is a struggle trying to stay organized. That's another thing too with like niches. The more stuff you have, trying to keep it organized and making sure that you can, if you can keep it scaled down, it makes your life a whole lot easier, because now I'm paying the price because I have all these bins that I had to pull out to get like one little thing for this project or that project. And now all of them are out because my space is no longer conducive to me having dedicated shelves where I can go see it, pull it out, put it right back. I cannot wait to get back to that. But as of right now, it's a pain in the butt. And I have to go through this process all the time of like stuff being all over the place after projects, especially if it's back to back to back to back to back projects. It's just a lot. Okay, I'm about to get off too. So if you're free, I will be off. It's almost 1 o'clock. I've been on for like 2 hours, and I did clear a walkway. Give me a call anytime after 1:30. Okay, anytime after 1:30. All right. What are the other topics for the next 30 minutes? I gotta stay in the room to finish clearing out this one little path because I'm trying to clear the path to the closet. So what's the next area of discussion or questions that you guys have? This is the transcript from a class. I've already done my what's name for that. Speaking of trends, I did buy them. So if I guess like if I do a trend, I'm gonna say I'm not, it's not always be desperation though, but so people were doing the whole large greeting card thingamajiggy. Christmas time they were doing it, Valentine's they were doing it like with the square. And so some people were doing the heart. But I do my setup was a little bit different than most people's. So this was a trend where I kind of sort of got into it, but then again, I did it because I never put out like templates. And that's the thing that I there's things that I do, and sometimes I don't like showing it because the first thing in the creative space is, oh, do you have a template? And it's like, sometimes they work for me, or I don't make a bunch of like, okay, if I did it right, so because I made it this way, you're going to get it with this. I'm not going and taking the time to make up 30,000 different designs and stuff because you don't want, like, to me, a template is I'm going to give this or sell this to you where it's the shape. Now you need to figure out what type of design you want to put into it. But like I had mine like this, and then there is the like I'm gonna say I overthink, but it's like the way my brain works. Because with this one, it was, let me see, which one did this go? Okay, so no, this is, I need the opposite side. Because you can either cut these little tabs off, but I created my template where it goes over those tabs, and then you can just staple it in place instead of like cutting them off. So this is a trend I have hearted. Like I didn't go full in on like, I did them for myself, but I didn't like turn it into something where I'm constantly like selling these, because they were made specifically for the ones for Walmart. And I know for a fact, like our Walmart, they didn't have like bins and bins and bins. It's like they had like 2 little bins of these little thingies. And if you go and you end up getting all these orders, but then you can't find me more. And I'm like, I'm about to try and ride around to 30,000 Walmarts. If I can't find it in the 3 Walmarts that's by my house, baby, I'm not dealing with it. Okay. But I end up doing, it was like this was the prototype for it. And then there was one that I did that allowed you to take the back part off of it. So this was like separate, like it sat, because these are all different. And so there's like one of them is like a little ledge that's on the inside. So I made this where it actually sits inside the ledge. And then this was for the outside. So there are some things that I will attempt to do when it's trendy, but y'all just don't fully see it. So there's some stuff I do that's trendy. I just don't hop on like all the trends, or to me, selling templates is a trend that I don't really buy into. Some say it's easy money selling templates. I personally don't feel like it's easy money selling templates. In business, whatever it is that you're promoting, it takes just as much work as anything else. So I don't feel like that's easy money. And I don't even feel like a lot of times that it's passive, because you still have to do the work. Like unless somebody else is marketing it for you, or you're going to run ads, or you're going to do something that constantly leads to that link, you still have to actively put in work every single day. You may not have had, like, you don't have to do physical work to make something over and over and over again, but you still have to put in the work. Like now with the age of social media, you have to make the reels and make the post. And even if it's the same exact post, you still have to schedule it, or you have to go in and you might want to change up your caption. It's still active work that you have to do for this thing. Unless you're on a platform like Etsy where someone can just kind of search for it. That way it can be, passive income in that, like you just created once, but you created that thing one time. In order to truly continue to make money, you have to keep designing. There's not one person that created one thing and that one thing is making them money 1,000 times over. You end up having to create the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, because if you only have that one thing, you will always only have one-time customers. You have to create something that will keep them coming back. And if making templates is not your primary business, like me stopping to make a template work, because some people put out templates and they're not ideal for just anybody. They made it for how it works for them. And then people get these templates and they're like, what the hell? Like, I don't know where this, like, how did you set this up? How did you get it to look like this? Like, what I'm trying to do is not doing that, because they're not providing any type of instructions for it. People literally put out templates and at least make a YouTube video or something showing how to use it. There's nothing to it. They don't want to do any more work. And then somebody else now, like me, because people inbox me, has to now do work. But then I'm the bad person, because I'm like, okay, no, I can help you, but you have to book a one-on-one session. Oh my God, nobody wants to help any people. Did the person you purchased that file for, did they provide help for free? Did they provide that file for free? But you want to go into, because people are in groups, you want the people in the groups, or you want somebody who's not the person that you ordered from, you want them to not be a gatekeeper and help you for free. That's just not how that works. And I get enough from templates that I did not create. I don't know if I want to deal with people coming to me, like the ones I do create, and it's like this entitlement of, okay, well, I got it from you. You have to help me. So that's one of the mental blocks that I have about putting out too many templates, is the pull that it may have on me, because people are already coming to me for help. So the more stuff I put out, it's like more opportunities for people to pull on me. And I don't know if I'm mentally I say ready, if I mentally want to even deal with that, if that makes sense. I gotta find a new home for my Cricut Easy Press. This is another thing too. If you are someone that is considering growth and wanting to be able to take on more orders and things of that nature and still be profitable, that's when you have to start looking at things like buying stuff in rolls instead of sheets. And that causes a lot of logistical issues with where you're going to store things. Because putting stuff on floors isn't always the greatest, because then you end up like tripping over stuff, trying to just find somewhere to like put it. I have so many cores, and you can't do the little, people is like in the craft world, and they have the little cutesy, what would they call the what are those things called? Oh God, with the holes in it. What were they originally made for? They were made for not garbage bags, like the bags and stuff from the stores. And like it was like that little holder thingy, and it had the holes in it. So some people, are rushing out. Oh my God, I need organization. And they're buying these little cutesy things to hang up on their walls with the little small rolls. I can't do that. We purchase all the stuff to do like the wall units, but then like with all like the constant moving, and then we realized like our walls are double drywall. So if we would have put that on there, like it was too heavy, because even my one desk, it was pulling from the drywall. But I need to be able to get the rack that stands up, but I can't do that anymore because we're going to get that for our garage. Then there wasn't enough space for that crap. So it was just like all this stuff. But most of the things that I have are on these large cores. I'm not at a stage in business where I'm going to get a lot of single sheets of things or like 1 yard rolls. The amount of cores that are in my house is ridiculous. And because this right here is this from the transfer? Yeah, this is transfer tape for EcoSolvent prints. And the vinyl is on a roll, the transfer tape on a roll. This is regular HTV. This is only a 15-inch roll, because that's the standard, unless you got the really, really large ones that you're cutting. But for this HTV, like I have rolls for this. This rolls. I have vinyl that's on, like, this is adhesive vinyl that's on a roll. My transfer tape, and then trying to kind of keep all of these so that they don't get dirty. That's a lot. Like, so you can't even like really put them butt to butt, because you need to have if it's going to go on the floor, you need to have the risers so that your bottom doesn't get like dirty and stuff. So having another one here is like, it's taking up a lot more space. So I say that to say, be careful what you are wishing for. It's great. And I know in your mind, it's like, if I have bigger machines, if I have the larger material and things like that, it's going to make my life easier. It can cause other issues and stressors in your life, because it was a lot easier to be organized as a smaller creator, and having like not needing to buy things in bulk, not needing to buy things on a roll to make my business profitable. If I kept doing it the way that I wasn't going to, I would be like some of you guys, not seeing any real profit. You have to buy the things in the bigger sizes to truly see profits. And then it's like, if you're going to buy it in the bigger sizes, you need to have business that's going to, that's going to be able to pay that part off, because it costs more. It's, it's a bigger price tag when you're first buying it, but you want to make sure that you have the orders to cover that, so it doesn't seem like you just kind of spent money and you're not getting the return, like ever getting the return on it. So you want to make sure that it's just, you're justified in buying it by the rolls. But that's how I have a whole corner, and it's literally just large spindles, and it is annoying sometimes. So be careful what you ask for. I'm telling you, be careful what you ask for in business. Think about it, plan it out, think about the good, the bad, the part where this is going to be an inconvenience, but is that inconvenience worth it for what you're trying to do? Damn near breaking my neck every time I have to walk over in that area. Is it worth it? For what it is that you're trying to do. Like I don't feel like, for the physical things that we make, me moving into an actual workspace, I'm not doing enough of that to justify it. The majority of the work that I do is sitting at a computer. So although I am very frustrated at times when I do have orders to do and I have to do it in this smaller space, it's very, very, very frustrating. But I can't justify like going into another commercial space right now, because even is not working full on in the business anymore. He has a job outside of the business. So it will be all on me. So trying to bring in revenue for the physical part, because getting a building would be more so for the physical things that we make, not the virtual things that I make. It's just not justified right now. So I have to deal with this stress of constantly tripping over stuff and cleaning up the room. So be careful what you are asking for. Understand the good and the bad, the pros and the cons. What are going to be the things that you're sacrificing for this new goal, that for this goal that you have? Some sort of sacrifice is going to come. Are you willing to deal with that? Sacrificing on space. If you are a neat freak, you may not be able to maintain this super pristine space with what you're trying to do. You have to think past just the shiny object syndrome. Because this corner right here is so tight. I mean, it should motivate me to want to lose some weight so that I don't have to keep when I want to get through there, because that area between the edge of this table and then where my heat press is, it is so tight here. And I hate walking in this area. So y'all do know that the end of this month is the last. This is the last week coming up for the second quarter, and then we go into the third quarter of the year. Which for me, well, for us, we have 5 states that we have to do taxes for, like submit sales tax, which is always so fun. Not. So I have to start prepping for that part to do the sales tax for what, freaking 5 different states. Starting to think about fourth quarter sales in the creative space and the things that people do for like the holidays. What are you currently thinking about going into the third quarter of the year? What are your plans and goals and projections for the third quarter? Oh God, there's too many boxes over there. I gotta figure that part out. I can't even get to the closet. That sucks. It's like, I don't want to just, because even gets upset with all these like little scrap pieces. I need better storage for all of this foam board. Okay, that's gonna keep making my hip hurt. All right, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead because I told her to call like 1:30. I'm gonna hop off, and I shall talk to you guys later. Because now I gotta really dig in. I cleared the pad. I just have to sweep, but I gotta get into this section that has a bunch of foam board blocking the door, and I gotta get that out of the way in order to be able to put all this stuff that's here. It has a home. I just can't put it in its home because there's other stuff blocking it. So I got to take care of that. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Thank you for watching for 2 hours and 2.5 hours. If you've been here the whole time, peace.